Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Q&A information sharing with me, Andrew Spirit. Just jumping on live to offer some free resources if you're looking for some general answers to questions about spiritual development, energy, angels and guides, spirits, how psychic mediums work. You're welcome to ask me during the live, and I'll answer you and share as much information as I can with you. If there is a particular topic or question I'm unable to answer right away, I can find information out for you from one of my colleagues, one of my healer friends, and get back to you on that. There's a few exceptions like tarot and crystals, which I don't really work with myself. But for the most part, I should be able to at least give you some information on your general spiritual questions. So or if you're also looking for some spiritual online groups, spiritual community groups, I may know of some in your area. I am in quite a number of them in Eastern Ontario and a couple other areas. So if you're looking for some online resources, I could probably help you with that. But for tonight, this is just general Q&A info sharing. I'm not channeling any psychic messages. That is for Thursdays on Facebook. So Sunday lives are typically around this time, late afternoon, somewhere between late afternoon and early evening. So hi Chris, nice to see you online. If anybody has any questions, please post them here now during the live, and I'll share with you whatever I can. Like I said, anything about angels, guides, spiritual development, energy, even intuitive Reiki, healings, how I work as a medium, anything along those lines, you're welcome to ask. And if you'd like to know more about me and what I do, please visit my website, which is mediumblessings.weebly.com. I'll actually just post it in the comments field for you. And if you're not already aware, I also have a Facebook page where I offer free psychic messages on Thursday evenings. Those are random messages to whoever Spirit guides me to, so I don't get to pick and choose. But if you want to tune in on Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page, it's the exact same name as my YouTube channel name. Check that out if that interests you. I've posted my website in the comments if you'd like to know more about me and what I do. And if you have any like-minded friends who are looking to connect with somebody or just looking for some help to have their general questions answered, if they need some guidance, direction, maybe even to connect with some online groups, spiritual groups that can help them out, there are some really awesome free resources available online that I might be able to help you with. So if you have your general questions, post away. I'll stick around on the live just to see what the interest is tonight. And if you can't think of anything right now, if any questions come to mind during the week, please make a note of them, write them down, and keep them, bring them along for next Sunday. And this is a good opportunity to get some good information, some tools, free resources. So feel free to post your questions. Like I said, anything with spiritual development that I can help you with. If you are wondering more about what my offerings are, I do love to mentor and tutor as well. So I do one-on-one mentoring for people who would like to develop their psychic, intuitive abilities, any other gifts they may have. Even if they just want to learn more about spirit in general, I do mentoring. I also provide private readings, psychic mediumship, one-on-one private readings. And I also do intuitive Reiki. And I do these services not only in person, I can do them remotely, online, via Zoom. Healings I can do distant healing remotely as well. So, there's no real limitations. I can even do it over the phone. I can do readings over the phone. So, okay, we've got a first question here. Can anyone be a psychic, or is it a gift? So basically, every single person technically is psychic. Not all on the exact same level or sort of arena, but everybody is psychic. I like to use the word interchangeably with intuition. Everybody has psychic ability. It's just most of us haven't been taught and trained how to utilize that ability. We've just left it dormant. But everybody is psychic, although not all psychics are mediums. So all mediums obviously are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. Mediumship just means it goes a step further, where instead of psychically tuning into a person's energy and getting it directly off a person, you start getting the information from external sources or beings, i.e. deceased loved ones, spirit guides, angels, etc. So that's really the only big difference between psychics and mediums. So to answer your question, yes, everybody is psychic, and it just has to be developed and practiced. And obviously, we're not all on the exact same level. Some have it more than others, but you can work on it and develop it. It depends how much time and energy and effort you want to put into it. Okay. Lisa's question, how do I connect with spiritual intuition? You used to have many instances of knowing when people were going to die. You saw places when you went. Okay, you could read the energy of a space. Okay, so that's pretty common. A lot of people shut it down because they're not comfortable with it. They're either a bit fearful, they think they mistrust the information, or they don't feel good about it. So the best way to reconnect with it, number one, best tool for me personally is meditation. So if you can bring a meditation practice into your daily routine, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day, it's good enough. And start to invite your spirit guides in, start to connect with them. So set the intention when you meditate that you are willing and wanting to connect with your guides. Invite them to join you during the meditation. Ask them to give you either their name or an image of what they look like, or a symbol, so that you can get familiar with them. Each time you connect, you know who it's coming from, who is with you. So it's like building a telepathic relationship. So the more you practice connecting with guides, eventually the more they will give you. The results vary from person to person, but the more you put into it, the more you'll get out with it. You do have to put in some effort, and it takes practice. So it's the same as going to a gym. If you slack off or stop going, you will get rusty. So meditation, and also doing your absolute best not to show any kind of fear when you are connecting with spirit. If you set the right intention, you will almost always be dealing with and connecting with higher, more positive beings. You just basically, it's all about intention. Set the intention. You can put a bubble around your aura, protect yourself, ask that only the highest and best guides and angels and energies work with you. And then it's just practice. So it does take practice and patience, but it can be done. So a lot of people are more people now are waking up than ever before. Evolution's speeding up. People are becoming more aware of spirit. The veil between spirit and physical world is getting thinner and thinner. So you can get it back, absolutely. It's just how much time and effort and energy you can put into it. So great question, Lisa, and you can absolutely do it. Almost anyone can. Like anything else, everything worthwhile is going to be a bit of a challenge. It's going to take effort. So even if you break it down into smaller steps, there's no rush, there's no deadline. You can go at a pace that's comfortable with you. So no expectations, just go find a pace that works for you. Whatever time you can spare, do that, and as it develops, you can choose how far you want to go with it. Hi, Marilyn, how are you? To those of you who just hopped on, this is just general Q&A information sharing on spiritual development, guides, angels, and energy, intuitive Reiki, and anything along those lines. At the top of the comments, I've posted my website for those who don't know me and like to know more about what I do. I'm an energy healer and psychic medium, and I also do mentoring. So if that interests you, or if you know anybody else who's looking for that, put them in touch with me, and I'd love to help them out either with general information, or if they're looking for something more specific like a private reading or an energy healing or mentoring, I can help them with that too. As mentioned, I have a Facebook page, so I do lives there on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's where I do my psychic messages. I channel psychic messages from spirit to random people that are tuning in. So if you know anybody's interested, invite them in to join. Subscribe to either Facebook or YouTube so that you'll get notified each time I go live. The Sunday lives are not always the exact same time. It's typically around very late afternoon to early evening. And I try to give at least half hour or more heads up before I go live. But if you subscribe, at least you get the notification. And like I said, it's just a chance to get some general questions answered, some guidance, some direction, maybe some free online resources if you're looking for spiritual community groups online, even whether in your area or not. I am in quite a few of them. Some of them are include members from all over Ontario. Some are more localized, but there's lots of really good groups that are willing to also offer free resources. They also do a little bit of messages, free information, things like smudging, intention setting, certain rituals. There are lots of different talented healers, mediums, and more that are just willing to give you whatever resources they can. So if it's something you're interested in, just ask, post your questions, and I will hang around for as long as there's questions, just to see what the interest is. And I'm doing this every Sunday, so take advantage if this is something you feel the need for, if you're looking for some information, resources, healing, spiritual development, so anything along those lines. And also invite you to check out Facebook and my website for more about me and what I do. Okay, let's see. Okay. What else can I share? Okay. So there are quite a lot of people out there that are either experiencing new upcoming psychic gifts, abilities. They're sort of becoming aware of extrasensory abilities they have, but not necessarily know what to do with, how to work with it, how to manage it. Some have even come to me thinking that there's something mentally wrong with them, or that it's imaginary, not real, and they literally think they're having some sort of mental issue or problem. And most of the time, it's just they're picking up on spirit, they're seeing and sensing things, they're developing an extra clairvoyant sense or ability, and they just need some direction and help as to how to manage it and what to do with it. So I can help you with that. And same goes with healing. The energies are getting stronger. We're evolving as a species. You know, we're upgrading. We're becoming more aware of spirit. So this is where I'd like to help. Okay, Lisa's question. Next question. When you're learning, how do you know the difference between a spiritual message and just a thought? Okay, that's a really good question. So typically, the very, very first insight, symbol, impression, thought you get, it comes in very, very subtly and gently, and it's usually the first thought. That is usually, in almost every case, coming from a spirit, from a higher vibe. And usually within about a second later, ego steps in and starts to analyze it and decide whether it's rational, feasible, safe. So typically, the message should come in very, very subtly. It's usually the first thought, and it should always come in a more or less a comfortable way. You can, if you're still struggling, it takes a lot of practice again, but if you're struggling to figure out which, whether it's imaginary or coming from spirit, try and get a feel of what the message feels like. So if it feels like it's coming from a place of love and it feels like it's being delivered in a more or less a gentle way, even if it's something that you might not agree with, try and use your feeling senses as well. If it's something that is delivered in a more of a demanding way, a pressurized way, then start to suspect it could be ego just stepping in and trying to analyze and figure out whether this is something that's got your back, your best interest first or not. So ego is always about, number one, me first. Am I safe? Is it something that I'm comfortable doing? Spirit just delivers whatever you're meant to get in the most gentle, loving way as it can. It's not always going to be your preferred choice or necessarily a comfortable choice, but usually it's first impressions. And this takes a lot of practice, and we make mistakes. So it's like meditation. The more you do it, the better you'll get at deciphering whether it's from spirit or whether it's coming from ego. So yeah, it's a really tricky one to master. I'm trying to think if there's some I just want to give some more clarification on that. Okay, so it's basically a combination of, usually, like I said, it's usually first thought is usually from spirit, and then within about a second later, ego steps in and starts to analyze. So I think there's only one or two people that are the exception that have told me their second thought is from spirit. The first one, the ego gets in. Usually it's spirit first, and you got to act on it, act on it before ego jumps in and starts to dissect and analyze it. So definitely not easy, a lot of practice, but that's probably as best as I can explain at this point. Hope that was helpful enough to you, Lisa. If not, let me know, and we'll see if we can dissect a little further and see if I can add to that. Marie-Hélène, you also had a question about coaching young children who seem to be sensitive. I haven't had a lot of experience with young children. I've literally maybe tried a meditation with them a couple of times. The results are really good. I would definitely be willing to do that. I'd be happy to try it out. I just haven't done it much at all, but like I do spend an hour a day with very young kids, kindergarten and grade ones. So I have a little bit of experience with them. So I would definitely be able to help them to some degree. So I'm definitely open to that. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, what? Okay. Any other questions along the lines of spiritual development? Just to stay on topic, spiritual development, energy, healing, guides, angels. That's pretty much what we're focusing on the lives. Reiki, energy healing, angels, guides, energy, spiritual development. That's pretty much all I can help you with. So if there's any questions along those lines, please please ask away. Okay, question. Do you think cancer can be cured with spiritual healing? So in some cases, absolutely, it does happen. I have personally known about a few cases. The thing that determines whether it's going to happen on a spiritual level, it has to do with the soul contract, the soul path. So spirit is always concerned with healing the spiritual body, the soul. It's not necessarily concerned with whether the physical vessel is going to survive or remain intact. It's purely spiritual healing comes first. So it's spirit, mind, then body. Body is the least important in the highest sense, according to spirit. So spiritual healing has in fact cured some cases of cancer, physically speaking. I've known of a few, and what I've also learned is, depending on what the soul wants, sometimes the soul just wants to heal spiritually, but is not concerned whether the physical body survives the disease or illness. So in some cases, yes, absolutely, spiritual healing can cure cancer. Ultimately, what determines whether the physical body survives or not, is whether the soul wants to stay on in the physical or just heal spiritually and move on. So I hope that clarifies enough for you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try and answer this one about what is my opinion about Allah. So I'm going to do my best here. From what I understand, Allah basically means the same as God, if I'm understanding correctly. And depending on your upbringing, the beliefs that you were taught as you were growing up, different cultures have different names for certain beings or gods. Some have one, some have a bunch. But technically, in my opinion, we all come from the same source. So there's a lot of different names for the same thing. On a soul level, every human being is connected. So I don't usually go much by names. For me, whether it's Allah or the Christ consciousness or source or the divine, or you can use the word God if you like. For me, it's all different names for the same source or the same energy, the origin of everything that is. So that's my interpretation. So hope that kind of made sense, but thanks for the question. It's a good question. Let's see. Gene, tell us, connecting to spirit guides easier. Meditation is hands down the best tool to do that. So if you're in meditation, set a specific intention and invite your guides to step in and show you a sign or an image or give you a sensation or feeling of who they are or how they connect with you, so that you can get used to their energy and get familiar with them whenever you meditate. It'll take practice, takes quite a bit of practice, and some pick it up faster than others. There's no hurry, but hands down for me, meditation will help you with that. And it's like building a telepathic relationship. You just invite your guide in and you try it, whether it's once, twice, 25 times. I don't know how many times it'll be for you. It's different with everybody, but the more you practice it, the more it'll start working for you. So hope that clarifies. If not, just let me know, but hope that's enough to help you get started with connecting more with spirits. And you can also find online, there's a lot of guided meditations that speak and guide you through the process that make it easier. So you may want to consider trying that as well. Okay. Okay. So, okay. As for different religions, so I don't refer to myself as religious at all. I prefer to just use the generic term spiritual. I'm non-religious. I don't go to buildings or churches or synagogues. For me, whatever you call the God or the prophet or whatever you call those holy people, for me, all humans are part of the same human race. I don't, regardless of whatever the skin color is or the culture or the gender or background. For me, everything comes from source. It's more about the soul and not the physical body, the meat suit, so to speak. So for me, I don't call myself, I say I'm non-religious. I'm just generally spiritual. So I don't think one's better than the other. I think there's something very valuable in all belief systems. So I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. I think we all are like facets, and we all have a part of the truth. And that's also a term I should use loosely. Truth is just what you believe in strongly yourself. Everybody has a different truth. So hope that clarifies a little bit as well. I don't really think any religion is superior or inferior. I think, we're all part of the divine. So on a soul level, for me, everybody's equal, especially. So hope that helps out a little bit and clarifies. Ocean Lee, are Ouija boards real? Yes, they are. The little bit I understand about Ouija boards is unless you're very, very well trained to use them properly, I'd say stay away from them. I've never used one. I don't want to because I haven't been taught. It's not necessarily the tool or the board that's bad. It's your intention behind it. So whether you use an Ouija board or a crystal or a different tool, it's not the tool itself that's good or bad. It's your intention behind it. So, for example, a Ouija board, if you know what you're doing and you're very well trained to use it for the right reasons, I don't see any harm in that. I just have never used one, so I won't touch it because I could inadvertently open up something that I don't intend to. So that's my knowledge and understanding of Ouija boards. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, not to worry. And I know a lot of people have used Ouija boards when they were kids because you're experimenting. You don't really know what you're doing on a deep level. So of course, as kids, we're going to try stuff. Similar with something called key. Sometimes you inadvertently bring in lower vibrations, and no harm done. Eventually, they will move on, and you won't be sort of trapped for the rest of your days. So it happens as a kid, you experiment, but I know quite a few people that have done that. And yeah, like I said, everything has to do with your intention behind what you do. Okay. Let's go and see here. So actually, this is a good thing to mention, especially about the topic of intention. Your intention about anything and everything will determine whether you're attracting high vibes or low vibes to yourself. So, same with your spiritual development questions, etc. Whatever you're looking to learn, what is your intention behind your questions? So, if you're genuinely looking for help, guidance, direction, you will ask certain questions. If you're concerned with whether you bring in good spirits, bad spirits during meditation, especially, set the right intention before you start meditating, for example. So if you want to meditate, just before you start, envision a bubble around your aura, your energy field. Connect with whoever you feel drawn to, whether you call him or her God or angels or Allah or Buddha. It doesn't really matter. You connect with and call to who you feel drawn to, and just tell them you only want the highest and best energies to come in and work with you during the meditation. And if you do draw in any lower vibes or negative beings that are bothersome for you, you can tell them to leave. Like I said, it's all about hurting the intention. Tell them your home, your space, your energy, your rules. Tell them to leave. If that still doesn't work, then you can always get some help from a healer to either smudge your space. But if you show them you're in charge and your intentions are high, that's another thing. If you keep your vibration in the right place where it's supposed to be, as in a more loving state, negative energies won't really be able to connect with you and bother you. If your intentions are in the wrong place and your vibe is low and you are continually giving your attention to lower thoughts, negative thoughts, judgmental thoughts, any disturbing thoughts, you're going to draw more of that to you. So remember, like attracts like. So whatever you're thinking and focusing on, you're going to just keep drawing more of those thoughts to you. And as like attracts like, those thoughts produce more of those thoughts in kind. So eventually, if you do that long enough, you're going to be constantly sitting in that kind of vibration with those kind of thoughts. And if you leave it for too long, it's going to be harder and harder to get rid of that vibration and lift yourself up. So it's personal responsibility, basically. Thoughts are things, so it's up to you it's up to you regards to what kind of thoughts you want to give your attention to. You're in charge of your energy. You control whether it goes up or down. So if you want to be in a high vibrational loving space, you've got to give your attention to those kind of thoughts. So just to keep it brief, like attracts like. It's up to you what you want to attract to yourself. Okay. Okay, Bruce, are there any tips when you lose focus during meditation? Most times I can keep focused, but there are times my brain tends to wander. Okay. Excellent question, Bruce. So no matter how experienced at meditating you are, there are always going to be thoughts creeping in and out. So if you get distracted, a couple of techniques you can do is, as soon as you become aware that the thoughts are stepping in and distracting you, just say to yourself, oh, okay, I wonder what my next thought's going to be. And then you just pause and remain very, very alert. And that helps you kind of just to become present and be in the now again. Or you could say, okay, tell me more. And you also just be very present and alert and tell me more. So as soon as you catch yourself drifting off, you've become aware and present again. And if you can get to a state where you're meditating and the thoughts are coming in and out, but you don't give them your attention and your energy, so you're not feeding them energy and you're not trying to push them away either. Let them come in and out and you just be like a silent observer. That's what you want to achieve. That's exactly what you want to achieve. So you don't expect to have a completely blank mind with no thoughts, because that may happen for brief periods of a time, but eventually thoughts are going to constantly be coming in and out and trying to get your attention. So if you try and push it away or fight it, if you resist it, you'll place it there even longer. If you can let it float in and out and leave in its own time without giving it attention or energy, that's the best way and the easiest way to stay in a focused meditative state without giving too much energy away. So don't try and push it away, because then you'll place it there even longer. And it happens to all of us. Some meditation days will go easier than others. Some days will be tougher than others. It depends what kind of day you've had, how you're feeling. Your mood fluctuates. Your vibration fluctuates. So it's not that the meditation has to be perfect and silent. Just the fact that you show up and you put in whatever that time frame is, you show up and you meditate, whether it's disruptive or not, just let the thoughts float in and out. Just be present. And when you catch yourself having been distracted, don't judge yourself or knock yourself. Just say, okay, you've become aware, and then you just stay with that. You could say, like I said, I wonder what my next thought's going to be, and you just pause and remain alert. And you'll get another stretch of time where you'll be aware and thoughts won't distract you until eventually there'll be one creeping in and out, but just let them float in and out. So I hope that answered your question completely, Bruce. I hope it helped you. Okay. Let's see. Can you lose focus during meditation? Okay. Okay. Okay, we still got some viewers on. Okay, any other spiritual development, energy, healing, angels, meditation questions, intuitive Reiki, anything along those lines? Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, sorry for the little interruption. Looks like I have a little bit of a battery problem, but we're still online, so there we go. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. 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 Team Tempest. Okay. Hi, Team Tempest. Nice to have you on. We're just having a Q&A, information sharing, anything to do with spiritual development, angels, guides, energy, healing, psychic mediumship, and things like that. So feel free to post your questions here on the live. I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. Okay. Okay, just trying to catch up here a little bit. Okay. 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 Okay, so basically, okay, so we're not doing any, I'm not channeling any psychic messages tonight. That's for Thursdays on Facebook. But for Sundays, the Q&A session, this is basically just general questions on spiritual development. I'm not doing psychic or mediumship readings. It's just general spiritual development, energy healing, spirit guides, meditation, intuitive Reiki, things along those lines. I'm doing anything except for channeling messages from spirit or, psychically or mediumship. That's for Thursday evenings, but not a problem. No problem at all. If there's anything I can help you with generally, spiritual development, and also if you're looking for some online spiritual community groups, I may know some you'd like to join. Some of them offer free resources. They share tips and things about all kinds of spiritual things, and there are mediums and witches and healers, and they have all sorts of gifts and specialties, and like I said, they offer free resources. So if you're looking for online community groups, I can help you with that as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, so okay. Oh, okay. That's not a bad idea, Marilyn. Live guided meditations. You know what? Actually, I did try that once. I did try and start that off, and for whatever weird reason, it just didn't take off online. I could look at doing that again in future, but the first attempt, for whatever reason, didn't take off. But it's definitely worth trying again at some point. Okay, just okay. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you. If you have any questions about spiritual development, post away. I'll stay online a little bit more and just see if there's any other interest. Yeah, basically the Sunday Q&A info exchange is anything along the lines of spiritual development, angels, guides, energy. For those of you who are newer, don't know me, my name's Andrew Spirit, and I'm a psychic medium and energy healer, and also I love to mentor as well. So I've put my website in the top of the comments. So if you'd like to know more about me and my offerings, visit my website. I'm also live on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. I do live messages, psychic and mediumship messages, to some of the random viewers tuning in on the lives. Heather, no, you're welcome to ask about guides at any time. It's basically ask whatever questions you have at any point. So if you have a question about spirit guides, just ask away, and I'd be happy to answer for you. So let's see. Okay, one of my daughters has abilities. Okay, Lisa, you're saying one daughter has abilities, the other one doesn't seem to. So the gifts, I don't think they're specifically just hereditary. It depends on when a particular soul is ready to so-called awaken and open up to spirit. So everybody is psychic at their core, It's just some develop it later or open up to it. Some don't want to. If one daughter may be ready now, another one either may choose not to do it, or if she ever does experience it, she may just prefer to just shut it down because she's not comfortable with it. I mean, that happens a lot. So I don't think it's specifically hereditary. I think it has to do with the soul path, whatever the soul contract has planned. So it can be developed as well. But it also depends, has a lot to do with the comfort level of the person who's going through those experiences. I've been tutored and schooled when I was taking spiritual development classes in the beginning of my spiritual journey. There were people in my group, my class, that were faster and better mediums than I was, but some of them had more fear, and they eventually ended up just leaving and not pursuing it at all. They just kind of blocked it out because they weren't comfortable coming out with it and being in front of people and doing that kind of work. So everybody innately is psychic. It just depends on how comfortable you are using it, and whether you want to. You have free will, so you guys don't never force you. They always guide you and lead you to things, but they will never force you to take certain action or decisions. So I hope that clarifies. Yeah, Chris, I did figure out there's a way you can report certain commenters. So I did a few of those, so hopefully that'll be the end of it. But I find, just let everybody say their piece. And I did try and share something about personal responsibility and your own vibration. So if that's what people want, you keep thinking those things, you're just going to sit with more of that. So you're doing it to yourself. So basically, I try and stay on track with what I'm supposed to be doing, and then I let the universe take care of the rest. So, yeah, everything now it's good. Okay, Marilyn, you asked, would you recommend tools such as a pendulum for a 5-6-year-old? 5 or 6 is pretty young. You know what? At 5 or 6, they still got, have very little filters developed. They still should be pretty open. So I would try and encourage them just to use their own psyche, their own thoughts, especially up until before they start school. They're usually very, very open and they don't have any filters. So I would start off without any tools. And then what you could do, because I have known some kids to use crystals, for example, at a very young age. You could maybe just expose them to a few tools like crystals or a pendulum and see if they gravitate to them and they're drawn to them. Kids at that age will just instinctively know what they like. So maybe stick a bunch of crystals before them, let them play with them and inspect them and feel them out. They may be drawn to use crystals. I've known of a few kids that started building crystal grids, just knowing how to do it without any explanation. No one taught them. Small kids just being able to build up a grid with crystals, knowing exactly which one goes where. So I guess it's never really too young an age. So I'm not opposed to that. So I'd say maybe, yeah, let them dabble a bit and see if they're drawn to any of the tools like crystals and maybe a pendulum too. Crystals seem to be quite a popular one. So that's my opinion on that. So when it comes to tools, it's not that one tool is better than the other. Every person is different. So for example, with me, pendulums aren't really that potent or strong for me. Same with crystals. Crystals and pendulums are just not ideal for me. I'm better with very generic general cards. Like I'm okay with angel and oracle cards, not at all with tarot. Me and tarot do not mix. I've tried to learn it. Not for me. It actually gets in my way. So I'm okay with angel and oracle cards, but not tarot. Crystals don't really do much for me at all. Pendulums, yes, very so-so. So depends on the person. some people are amazing with pendulums, some are amazing with tarot or oracle. No, one is not better than the other. You've got to, some people have to just try a bunch and you see what you're drawn to. So anything, and there's also more tools. Crayons and paper also, even with kids, they can just draw stuff. Sometimes they can visualize energy in their third eye and just draw it with crayons. There's so many different ways to express spirit and to see spirit. So yeah, for me, visuals work. I'm a visual person, so drawing, crayons, seeing physical images, handling tangible tools like cards, crystals, to me, they're pretty helpful. So for example, tarot, I find I try to study it, I try to learn it, and similar to one of my mediumship teachers, she tried to use tarot, and this lifetime she was just not meant to use them. They would not work for her. She was not allowed to use tarot. So tarot is a very, very effective tool. Nothing wrong with tarot. It's just some people are not meant to work with certain tools, and my mentor and myself as well, for some reason, us and tarot do not mix. We just are not meant to work together. It actually makes it much harder for me. So there's no right or wrong. It's just certain tools work for certain people. With me, for me actually, most of the time I don't or shouldn't use any tools. It's just I need to have a direct energy connection. Very seldom I may use I have one deck of cards. It's spirit animal totem cards, and I rarely use them. Once in a while I get called to draw a card or two, but for me, tools seem to get in my way. So I have tried them, but you got to work with, you got to do it what works for you, and I can't tell spirit what I want to work with. I've tried it. I have to go with how spirit wishes to work through me. So there's no one way is better than the other. Some healers and mediums need specifically to use, for example, tarot or crystals, but they can be phenomenally good at what they do. So there's no right or wrong. It's just a variety, basically. So you got to work with what resonates with you. Okay. Bruce, yep, I have had it a few times, seldom, but once in a blue moon it'll happen where I can't read for a person. I had one lady, luckily we did it online, so she didn't come out to see me. She'd been through a handful of other mediums. None of them could read her, and the same thing happened with me. She was just one of those few people where she tried a whole bunch of mediums, and none of us could read her. So it happens once in a while, and yeah, it's just some people, either they have a block themselves, they don't want to be read subconsciously, or there may be other reasons. Maybe they're just not meant to be read at all, and they're meant to basically figure everything out themselves at that point in time, and they're not meant to get help, as not to sound mean or anything, but like I said, this lady had tried a handful of mediums, some more experienced than I was, and none of us could read for her. So it does happen once in a while, luckily not often. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so wow, this has been had some great questions here tonight. And yeah, this has been really good. Usually takes a few minutes to get going, but once it goes, we have a really good, we've had some really good questions tonight. Okay, so I think I'm just going to put it out there. Anybody have any final questions before I jump off? Here's your chance. Any last minute questions? And like I said, if you can't think of anything right now and something comes up tomorrow or the coming days, just keep a record of your questions and join us again next week, and then you can ask them then. Mudras, Marilyn, mudras, I'm trying to, mudras are, is that basically similar to like chanting in a way, or affirmations? I think mudras are like affirmations, right? I've done satsang meditation, I've done chanting meditations, I've done mudras, I've done ohms, I've done where I think it's an Indian meditation style where you have like mala beads, and I don't know how many beads are on. There's like 100 and something beads, rough, I can't remember exactly. And you have to do an affirmation for each bead, and you move your hand along bead by bead. So, oh, mudras, hand positionings. Okay, now I recall. I think I've done it once or twice. When I meditate, I preferably like to sit still with my hands very relaxed. I don't mind chanting once in a while. Chanting's pretty good. But I like to be vocal for a while, but I also love dead silence or background music. I love sitting in the quiet and just absolute silence, and then tuning into whatever may or may not come in. So that's my kind of favorite form of meditating. And Heather, signs can come from angels, guides. They come from both angels, guides. Even your departed loved ones will send you signs. Your higher self will send you signs. Yeah, I think you're right, Marilyn. I think it's 108 beads. That number sounds about right. So yeah, for me, I do like a little bit of vocal chanting to stimulate the vagus nerve, and then I like to just sit in the quiet and enjoy the space. And it's nice if there's some nice background music. I enjoy that too. Either that or dead silence. As long as it's very kind of relaxing, slow, I do enjoy that. I like listening to other people chant. That works for me too. But after a while, I like to give my vocals a break and just sit in the peace and just enjoy it. Okay. Any other final questions before I call it a night? And okay, Heather, you're asking how do I know who it is? Are you meaning how do I know who is giving me the signs? If I'm understanding right, how do I know who's giving me the signs? That's a good question. So sometimes I do know, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll get a visual or a sense of who it's coming from, whether it's, say, my gatekeeper, my main guide, or maybe an angel. And sometimes it'll just come to me and I won't see or sense any other being. So I won't necessarily know if it's coming from one of the guides or spirit team, or if it's coming from my own higher self. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. And that's okay. The most important thing is the message itself, or the sign. Who it comes from is not super important, but it is nice to know. But sometimes I don't always get where it's coming from. So yeah, I've learned to, you can always ask who is this coming from, but if you don't get an answer, don't worry about it. Focus more on the message itself. Okay, so for those who've just jumped on, this is Sundays for Q&A, information sharing, any general questions about spiritual development, energy, guides, angels, intuitive Reiki, how psychic mediums work, anything along the lines of general spiritual development. I'd be happy to answer you during the lives. I'm going to jump off very soon, so any final questions, you're welcome to ask, but that's the general, those are the general topics for the lives, and you can join in every Sunday. It's typically roughly very late afternoon to early evening. It's not always the exact same time, but I try to give a heads up half an hour or an hour before on my Facebook page as well. So if you're interested in live psychic messages, I do that on Facebook on Thursday evenings. Sundays on YouTube is for general Q&A, information sharing. Also, if you're looking for some online spiritual community groups that also offer unique and varied free resources, I can put you in touch with a few if that's what you're looking for. So, if that interests you, check it out. Some people don't have access to spiritual online communities, so that can be very helpful. As for Stephen's question, I wouldn't be able to help you with the magic side of things. Never tried it. Don't know much about it. I do psychic mediumship, readings, energy healings, spiritual mentoring. As for magic, I got to be honest, I know very little about it. The magic I have seen is, I don't even know what kind of magic to call it. I've seen some amazing, amazing magic tricks that my mind cannot explain or wrap its head around. But I wouldn't know where to recommend. Like, I've seen some dynamite, amazing magicians do some stuff that I just cannot wrap my head around. I just don't know how they do it. But I'm certain there's places you can study and figure out where to learn from it. But I've never dabbled with it. But some of it, I got to tell you, is very, very impressive and amazing. I don't know how they do it, but I've seen stuff that's blown my mind. Like, I do enjoy some really, really good quality magic. I enjoy it because I just can't. It's so exciting and interesting. I just can't figure out how it's done. But thanks for the questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining live. Thanks for your great questions. And like I said, you're welcome to tune in next Sunday, every Sunday. I'll try and give a heads up half an hour before. If you subscribe to my channel, it should notify you before I go live or when I go live. So if you come up with questions during the week, you're welcome to join in any other Sunday you can. Eastern Standard Time, roughly very late afternoon going to early evening. It's not always the exact same time. I think tonight I went on at about 10 after 6. Sometimes it's a little earlier. Maybe sometimes it'll be a pinch later, but thereabouts. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all your questions, everybody. And I'm going to sign off and say good night now, but hope you have a good week coming up and hope the weather's better depending where you all are. We're in most of us, I think, are in Canada. Hopefully it warms up a little bit, and have a blessed, safe, and happy week. May the energies be kinder to you. And until next time, take care. If you need to know more about me, my website is posted on the top of the comments, or you can just visit my Facebook page. It's the exact same name as my YouTube channel name. It's Mediumblessings Andrew Spirit. And until next time, take care, and thanks for your questions. Bye for now, everybody.